now we have a good understanding of teamwork and how to navigate our work with our teams. We're ready to reach down inward for our next subject, empathy. All teams should desire to communicate effectively. But how do we know if we understand the problems we face? And how do we ensure that we're sending the right message? These are a few of the problems we run into when discussing the differences between sympathy and empathy. Brené Brown explains that sympathy is feeling for someone, while empathy is feeling with someone. When we feel with someone using empathy, we are joining someone in their experience, whether it's a joyous experience or one of sorrow. We can empathize with someone to form a real connection with them. This is the missing element in sympathy. Sympathy is a surface level of connection that keeps our own feelings away from the experience. Drawing these boundaries can lose us the authenticity of our connection. The power, when we have genuine connection to our team, we can communicate more effectively and further than if we remained on the surface. Some of the ways we can miss out on building genuine connection with our people are categorized as empathy misses. These are attempts at empathy that we tend to fall into when we keep our connections on the surface level instead of reaching out for authentic connection. The first example of this is the gasp and awe miss, or highlighting the embarrassment and bringing a sense of shame to them about the problem, regardless of who is to blame for the specific situation. The next example is the mighty fall. This miss asks them, how could this have happened to you? If we have put someone on a pedestal, we're more let down by their shortcomings and shame them for ruining our perception of them. The next example is the block and tackle, or saying, what were you thinking? People who are uncomfortable with empathizing will become critical of you when you become vulnerable about your issues. The next example here is the boots and shovel miss, saying something like, well, it could be worse. Often we're trying to make them feel better by offering what we think they want to hear. But really, it communicates to them their issue is just not important to us and that we don't take the frustrations that they have seriously. And finally, the if you think that's bad, miss. Really? This is betraying their call for connection and attempting to one-up the problem they are having by inserting a struggle of your own. Much like the last miss, you've dismissed their problem entirely, sending them further into their own shame. Before we bring this session to a close, let's cover the empathy skills and how we can use them to form genuine connections with our team. Perspective taking. This is exactly as it reads. Understanding what someone is going through by seeing the issue through their eyes can bring insight to you and help them feel seen and heard by someone that cares. Non-judgmental. We all have opinions, but in these cases, it's not about what we think. What is most important is that we are offering our support to someone who needs it for their benefit. Understanding. Listening to someone and understanding someone are very different. We all desire someone to comprehend what we're feeling and the way we experience our issues for that healing, genuine connection. Communicating. Clearly defining roles, insight, and advice go a long way when communicating to someone you are empathizing with. Mindfulness. Empathy inspires reflection, about our own problems and can aid us in solving our own problems. Self-compassion. Where there is forgiveness, there is self-compassion. We shouldn't hold things against each other just as much as we shouldn't hold things against ourselves. Thank you all so much for letting me join you in your personal growth journey for this week's session. I hope these lessons have helped shape your perspective and encourage you just as they have shaped and encouraged me. I'm excited to see the ways you will grow as you take these lessons and let them form you in your own lives. Take care.